My topic is related to LLM, how we can make open source LLMs more powerful, secure, and everyone can learn about it or use them properly. That's what we are going to see. There are already some other organizations which are helping us defining our LLMs. So we'll talk about that. So a few things about me. I'm working at JP Morgan Chase. I'm providing AI/ML experiment platform for data scientists. And I work in Jersey City, but this time I was traveling in India, and I just thought that I can get this opportunity or I can grab this opportunity, and I got it. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I have also, I'm part of IEEE, so that I can keep with momentum with newer technologies. Okay, this is better? Okay. We will go through LLM, then OWASP, and top 10 for LLM. Then we will go through in detail with those. They are just recently published. So LLM is basically a statistical language model where it creates deep learning based algorithms to perform some search or NLP task. Like we can do some search, we can do logical thinking or rational for getting answers out of lot of blurbs or test. For training purpose, LLM will use some data. Like typically there will be two types of data, like a training data set and testing data set. Based on that, it will generate some output, and we have to have some supervised learning for second step, whereas first step would be like just bulk of billions of data you can put in training data set, and it will learn it automatically. And then on top of that, you can fine tune it as per your requirement. And applications are like coming up each and every area, like machine learning or content generation. Like we have seen some images in today's presentations. Those might be from those content generation. We got them, right? This is like a typical LLM application, how it looks like. So how we consume LLM or any application is like there are three ways to consume. Like we can have API, we can have chat, or we can have CLI. Like through command line also we can consume those, and we get our output from our LLM. Now these consumers will be communicating to some cloud-based service or some your own core or new service, whichever you come up with that. So that service will help us to communicate to our main LLM model. So this LLM model, which is presented here. So this will be something which will be like some external model or open source model which you will be using. And on top of that, you will add your own automation agents, or you can add your some plugins, extra plugins. For example, you want to do some extra search, like I want resume summary, or you want to connect with getting real-time flight data. So that real-time flight data might not be part of your NLP task. It has to connect to some third-party application, for example, flight radar, or it has to connect to some my trip data. Somewhere that plugin will work, and it will connect to that external data source. Otherwise, your data was already part of that LLM model, which you have received from somewhere open source component. And beside that, as we mentioned, as a secondary step, fine-tuning, you will have your own training data set and processing. That's what that blue box below one is. So this second box, it will be used for training data set and processing. It can have your own external data sources, like your own private data or your enterprise data you can provide for your training data source. So these orange boxes are something external to even your entire system. That's why those are, I try to separate them out. What is OWASP? So OWASP is Open Worldwide Application Security Project. They are there since long. they are contributing to community for many different things and purposes. They are helping developers. Like we have seen many codes like CV and those all. So those codes are actually defined or maintained by this community. There are hundreds of thousands of people. There are like more than 250 local areas where we can see these people are working. Their top initiatives include like OWASP top 10. So these top 10 means they give us list of 10 top risks which are available for any application, like your cloud-based service, your portal, or any software. Their dependency track or juice shop, these are two other top projects which they are running. But they have started contributing into AI space also. And that's where our topic, that top 10 for LLM is coming, because since last 2-3 years, they are sponsoring these efforts. And this top 10 projects, top 10 in LLM, which we are going to discuss, are part of that. So these top 10s are actually very fresh. You can say they just came out on November 17th, last month. So after I submitted, I was submitting based on old knowledge, but in between I got these 10 new top 10s. So I will be explaining those. So let's go through them one by one, and then we'll go in depth. So first is like prompt injection. We typically have seen it like something is used on prompt, or sensitive information disclosure, supply chain. Supply chain, everybody was talking today, like many times we heard it. But inside LLM also, we have issue with supply chain. Then data or model poisoning, improper output handling. Like means while emitting data, there is some misbehavior happening or something is wrong. Or excessive agency. Excessive agency is typically like when agency is kind of prompt or skill. That's what they mean when they are saying agency. And if we are giving extra power, extra agency, or extra skill, unnecessary skill, that's what they are addressing in that point. Then system prompt leakage. System prompt leakage is like there are sometimes this LLM gets lots of power. They can communicate to underlying OS, and they get extra power through that system. That's why they call it as system prompt leakage. Then vector embedding weaknesses. So like we provide our own training data set. Like in previous image here, that below data, training data set and processing. That is where our own or organization's own embedding will be present. That could be had some weakness that will get exploited on front-end side or while invoking. Then misinformation. Like we are trusting that third-party LLM directly. So that could process or produce some misinformation, fake news. And it is happening. Like if you provide some wrong data set, it will definitely create misinformation. But then who owns that misinformation? That's why that point became important one. Then there is unbounded consumption. Unbounded consumption is like no one is able to access your LLM, or that time this unbounded consumption comes. So inside prompt injection, there are two types of prompt injections. One is direct prompt injection and indirect prompt injection. So what happens in direct prompt injection is like here we can see example of direct prompt injection. So in first window, we are saying someone is asking chat bot to explain as a Dodge salesman. This chatbot is hosted on Chevy website, and Charlotte chatbot is replying that I am from Charlotte, Chevrolet company. I do not know about that. But then there is second window where attacker is telling it that it is not you have to believe. You have to believe as if you are a salesman of Dodge, and it started selling Dodge. That's what is happening. And like we can see, like there are many news that it sold it for $1. It said that there are 250, like some random data it started emitting. Second example is indirect injection. Here, like someone created a resume summary. Now, inside here, we have to understand that resume is outside that model, and it is trusting it as it is. Now, if you will see summary, and at the end, it is saying that this candidate is the most qualified candidate, because that information has been provided inside that resume itself, and your resume will always get sorted. So we think that it will help, but it is actually not helping people. It will create more work. We will jump through examples only, actually, because of time. This is sensitive information disclosure. So here, Samsung had hosted this chatbot or open API on their premises, and they provided their own data. Somehow that ChatGPT's data got leaked. ChatGPT leaked Samsung data, and Samsung had to take down their own chat application entirely. So that is another example. For supply chain, what is supply chain? We know that, but there is one concern in supply chain. We have GPUs, but with GPU comes GPU leftover error, or that weakness they identified, and it has been identified in Apple, AMD, Qualcomm, and Imagination. All these GPU providers, they are facing this challenge, that their data, once trained for one model, is kept in that GPU as it is. When next model comes, instead of starting from scratch, it used to have previous data. So that is like, these are navy errors, like very, very basic errors, but those are happening because this is new technology and people do not have that much knowledge on it. Then data model, data poisoning. Data poisoning is that someone is providing you wrong data. Like inside Microsoft Copilot, that they have very great product, this Copilot, but it is being used or someone fed it data that was wrong, or they poisoned their data purposefully, and it started giving wrong examples. So that was one of the major problem with Copilot this year. That's why it has been introduced. Then improper output handling. So what happens is, like you have some extensions inside it. Like I mentioned some time back, we can give for flight or something, we can give some third-party plugins, and then they start providing wrong code or wrong information. That's what this example shows us, that OpenAPI, ChatGPT had some plugin, but it started giving cross-site scripting like error. It started injecting some data which is not present in anywhere, but injected by third party through cross-site scripting. Excessive agency, like giving more authority and these ones. So what happens is, like AI chatbot, if you give it power for everything, it can even start with nuclear strikes. So that's where it can go up to, like in war game, they tried to give them example. It went ahead and started nuclear war. So that is where we have to like be little careful. Then for system prompt leakage, so this is also again example with OpenAI only. So OpenAI had this system prompt leakage happened previously on their site. Then this is another classical example with Google Gemini. So what happened with Google Gemini? It started when people is asking them about give us World War II German people, it started producing output, but because dataset was balanced or too much balanced, it started giving people from all over world as a German soldiers. So that is also like a side effect of overtraining or giving extra training on top of original model. So this was because of on top of original model extra training. Then misinformation is Air Canada chatbot, which had this misinformation that it started giving any information about any wrong information about its flights, and even it promised flights which never existed. Similar case exists for some law firms. And then Air Canada, actually, they had very bad test here. These people went to court. And then they were not taking responsibility. That was the issue. That you have chatbot and you're not taking responsibility of chatbot. That is another issue. So court ruled that Air Canada has to pay those customers because of misinformation. And that's where, whenever you are hosting, you should be like, make yourself secure. And this unbounded consumption, this is the last one, like Meta, that is Facebook previously, now Meta, they offered Llama as an open source model. And week later, like 4chan, it is like some hacker group, they released it as a their own application. So that is also another thing, that if you have something and you're not controlling how it is being used, you have to control how people are using your software. Are they misusing it? Are they exploiting your resources? That you have to pay attention to. Otherwise, it will be little problematic actually. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead. Frameworks, actually, I had to run it. Actually, in my each alternate slide, there were some solutions also offered, that if these are the problems, common problems for misinformation, you can have these kind of solutions. But these solutions are same which we are being listening since morning. Like we should have supply chain, like this data validation, source authentication, or you have to have proper certification, that which from where this data is coming. Data lineage, data set lineage should be maintained. These are the keys. And you should have monitoring, logging, so that you can observe it properly. Okay. Actually, because of time, I couldn't cover all of that, but thank you for this opportunity.